Hello, today I'm going to explain how the process of growing gigantic pumpkins actually helps your quilt shop. Now, I'm not talking about little pumpkins we carve each Halloween, about the size of a basketball or so. I'm talking about the half-ton monsters that come out of seeds costing around $2,000, about this big, right? This process of growing these half-ton beasts is the same process for growing our quilt shops. Okay, I'm going to walk you through each of those steps and each of these processes and show you and tell you what to do and how to do it. And now, in this plan and these processes were developed by Mike McCallowitz in his book, The Pumpkin Plan, and it's on my favorites list. You can find that my list of my favorites at curtisaccountingsolutions.com, and then click on the favorites link. You get my list of favorites. My name is Jacob Curtis. I am a CPA, a quilt shop owner, and the creator of Money Made Simple Academy for quilt shops. And like I said, the same process that's used by pumpkin farmers to grow these half-ton gigantic pumpkins should be used in your business to grow your quilt shop. And the first step is really to plant the seed. Once you get that seed, which everybody has, assuming you're a pumpkin farmer, you get the seed and you've got to plant it. Now, once it's planted, you've got to water it, right? Well, let's convert these steps into business. What does that mean for a quilt shop? So the first step in a quilt shop, planting your seed, is leveraging your biggest strengths, zeroing in on your area of innovation, whether that's quality, price, convenience, zeroing in and figuring out what your biggest strength is, and then leveraging it. The biggest strength of the pumpkin farmer is having the seed. Your biggest strength, we need to figure out what that is and then leveraging that to our fullest. The next step is to water the seed. You got to put water on the seed to make it grow. If you don't give it nutrients, if you don't help it grow, it's not going to grow, right? But you can't just water with any old water. You've got to make sure it's good, clean, pure water. Any water that's been contaminated with chemicals or something may end up stunting the growth of the pumpkin. So translate that into quilt world, into quilt business world, and we get that you've got to sell to your customers that share your ideas, that share your ideals, really. You've heard the phrase, birds of a feather flock together. Well, we want to make sure that you're finding and selling to birds of a feather, birds that are like you, the customers and people that are like you. And so that's the steps. That's the second step. Third step is a pumpkin farmer will examine his vine and get rid of and cut out any vine or pumpkin that is damaged or diseased so that the nutrients doesn't get sucked away by the bad parts of the vine of the pumpkin. You know, when you first grow a pumpkin, it sends out multiple vines, and in each vine there's multiple pumpkins. And so the first thing the farmer does is go through and cut away and chop out, get rid of, remove any diseased or damaged pumpkins. The same thing we've got to do with our business. Now, that translates into us not catering to the customers that are not part of our flock, or that are not part of our area of innovation, right? We want to make sure that they're not sucking up the resources and the nutrients and not allowing us to help our customers we like to help. Okay, not getting rid of, but not catering to is probably the better way of saying it. Not catering to customers that suck away our resources is the next step. Step 4 is to weed. Okay, the big pumpkin, when we water it and give it nutrients, we want just the pumpkin vine, just the pumpkin itself, to get that nutrients. We don't want it to go to the squash plants that are next to the big banana squashes or the zucchinis or anything like that. Now, these are all squashes, right? But we're not growing squashes. We're growing gigantic pumpkins. So how does that translate into the business world? Well, that really translates into the business world, meaning we don't let distractions distract us. And distractions come in many forms. One of those is really opportunities, okay? We want to focus in on what we do best, whether that's selling wide back fabrics or notions or classes or kits and patterns and whatever it is, or certain lines of fabrics. We want to focus in on what we do best. We don't want to get distracted by doing all these other things, which is very similar to step 3, which was not catering to our rotten customers, or getting rid of those damaged and diseased pumpkins, right? We want to focus in on what we do best and not get distracted by it. We want to pursue opportunities, because when we pursue those opportunities, We split our focus, we split our resources. That doesn't allow us to get giant pumpkins. Okay, and those giant pumpkins grow into giant pumpkins that have their own seeds, which then we can take to grow more giant pumpkins. And we can expand from just having one pumpkin plant into many pumpkin plants, or one area, or one product, or one service, or one offering into multiple offerings, or a group of offerings. Okay, one group of offerings into others. Does that kind of make sense? We want to weed out and keep and protect and guard what we do best and get that growing so it's really huge, gigantic pumpkin. And then once that gigantic pumpkin is good, then we can take the seeds from that gigantic pumpkin, the overflow, and plant plant another seed to grow into other areas, but not until we've got our gigantic pumpkin first. Okay, so step 5 is really going to be to identify what pumpkins on the vine are the best ones to have, right? We want to look over and pick the top pumpkin. So it's been a little while. The vines have grown. We've probably got 5 to 10, a dozen to half a dozen, I don't know, pumpkins that are growing. And what we want to do now is identify which one of those is the best pumpkin, which one of those has the best chance, is growing the fastest, is doing the best out of all of the other pumpkins. Translate that into our quilt shops, and that means we need to identify our best customers. We're going to grade each customer or customer type and say, is this a good customer or a bad customer? And there's a few criteria we go over, whether that's how they're paying, what their average price is, what they're buying. Are they buying things that are in our area that we want? Do they like our pricing? Do they, what is it that they are doing that we like about them? And we're going to grade them on a variety of areas to come up with our best customers. We're going to identify our top customers. The next step is in the pumpkin is to really nurture and guard and chop off all the other pumpkins except for our one top pick, so that all of the nutrients is now being shifted from multiple vines and multiple pumpkins into one pumpkin. Okay, we're going to chop off those extra pumpkins, and we have one that we're focusing on. We're catering to them, and we're nurturing that, guarding it, protecting it, making it so, and giving it every opportunity to be the biggest pumpkin possible. Translate that into business. That means we're nurturing that top customer we've identified, or that type of customer we've identified. We want to find out what they want and then cater them, give it to them, right? If they need a little extra water, give them that extra water. If it's an extra hot day, give them extra water. Same thing with our top clients. We just want to be able to find out what they want and then provide that to them. Because they're our favorite, we should like doing that. Okay, business is going to be fun again, and you're going to cater to those ones that you want to cater to. Does that mean that in the business world, does that mean we don't sell to people who come in and buy something that are our top customers? No, of course, we will definitely provide the services we have to them, but we're not going to go out of our way to provide them with something we don't have, because they're not our top customer. We want to make sure that we are serving and catering to our top customers. And then finally, the last step is just to watch it grow. Watch that pumpkin grow, watch your quilt business grow. And it's amazing. To be honest, we did this in my shop, and it really has taken off. Okay. We dive in more details around each of these steps in Money Made Simple Academy for Quilt Shops. We're developing a course right now to walk you through that, and to give you some ideas and better ideas of what each step means and how to do each of those steps. So click the link that's in the description or comments today so you can get signed up and get access to that course when it becomes available shortly. If you want, you can actually also buy the book that you can find on my website at curtisaccountingsolutions.com. It's an affiliate link to Amazon so that you can get that exactly how I have it. You can get a jump start on that. The other thing is keep continuing to follow. I was actually really surprised. We did this, like I said, in my quilt shop, and it really did save our quilt shop. We were so diverse, chasing after every opportunity, chasing after every little thing that came in, that we did not realize that we were spending resources in tons of different areas. And when we finally backed up and followed the pumpkin plan, followed what the pumpkin farmer chose us to do, we really did grow our business. And I know it can save your business too. Anyway, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. You can find my blog on my website. Just search for Curtis Accounting Solutions, get all the resources you need and tools you want. Again, We dive deeper into this in a course in Money Made Simple for Quilt Shops, Money Made Simple Academy for Quilt Shops. So click the link and become a member today. Talk to you later. Bye.